Hello guys! In today's Procreate tutorial, I'm gonna show you how to paint this beautiful night landscape step by step. Before we begin, you can download all tutorial files free of charge via the link in the video description. Now if you are ready, let's grab our pencils and get started. We need to create a new blank canvas, so let's click on the plus button here in the corner. I'm gonna use a horizontal canvas with the dimensions set to following: 2500 pixels by 2000 pixels. This ratio is good for social media posts, but if you'd like to use this image as a desktop wallpaper, iPad background, or print it as a poster, you need to set the size accordingly. DPI is set to 300, and color profile is display P3. After we click Create, we'll get this working space, so we can start creating our masterpiece. In the first step, let's change the background. If you go to the background color, and then select color number 1 from the palette, we'll get this nice dark blue color for the night sky. If you like my free YouTube tutorials, but still want to take your Procreate skills to a whole new level and support me at the same time, please consider joining me on Patreon, where I've already shared hundreds of premium quality brushes and advanced drawing tutorials in many different styles. You will find a link to it in the video description. Now let's add a few more colors to our beautiful sky. There will be 5 colors total, including this dark one. So let's start with color number 5 from the palette and apply it using Selection. It's here next to the arrow. Let's tap on it and then switch to Rectangle in this menu. Also activate Color Fill option. Now we need to outline a big rectangle that will start from the bottom of the canvas and go up. Let's keep it dark only here on top, like this. Then we need to deselect it and switch to the next color. It is number 4. It will get lighter and lighter while going down. Let's also apply it with rectangular selection, but this time make it wider, like this. Need to deselect again and also add this pinkish tone number 3. It will go approximately to the half of the canvas, like this. The last color here will be number 2. Let's apply it at the bottom of the canvas. Just divide this pink part into 2 more, like this. After we did it, let's blend all these colors all together. And for that we can apply Gaussian blur. We need to select it from Adjustments and then just slide the pencil to the right. I think around 25% will definitely work. Now we can deselect it again, and before we add some texture for the clouds, let's adjust the color just a little bit. In Hue Saturation Brightness option, we can increase saturation. Let's set it to around 62%. And also I will lower brightness by 1%. Set it to 49. Now the colors look a little bit more vibrant. We can deselect it. And also I'd like to add sort of fisheye effect on the sides, like it is a lens distortion. So let's go to Transformation menu. I'm clicking on this arrow. And after that, from the menu, we need to select Warp tool. Let's start pushing it down in the center, like this. It can also go down on the dark part, and on the sides it'll go a little up. Just turning all the lines into curves, like this. Let me stretch it a little bit upper. And now I think it is fine. Let's deselect it as well. In the next step, we need to smudge all the borders between the colors using a texture brush. One of my favorite brushes for smudging is Realistic Gouache Paint. You will find it in this set. The opacity here can be set around 65%. And I will start with the size set to maximum. Let's start working from the top of the canvas and make strokes on the dark color to blend it with lighter blue. We can also do it on the left side like this. And for now I'm not pressing too much. Now we can also stretch the light blue color a little upper to make it look textured. So it is like a subtle cloud texture already. Let's continue going down. We can smudge this blue color with the light blue. This way. Move to the center. And even do it crisscross. But it should look soft. No harsh borders, please. So I'll do it this way. And then continue going down. Now we need to smudge this light blue with pink. Since these colors look very different, it may take a little bit more effort. So let's try to make strokes up and down like this. Also here, on the edge. But I will keep this arc, not ruining the composition. Let's do it a little bit more. I will also adjust this part a little bit. Okay, just want to make it a little bit softer. This way. And now we just need to smudge these two. This nice pink color with yellow. Let's also do it carefully like this. It can also go up and down to get more cloud texture. This brush wasn't meant to create clouds, but I think it works here just fine. Of course, we will add more clouds with certain brushes. But for now, it is also okay. I will work a little more. As you see, it takes some time, but the result will be great. I will lower the opacity and make some bigger strokes. Like this. Okay, just a couple more. And I think now it is ready. I will keep it. Now we can create a layer above this one to add the grass. Here let's select color number 6 to make it dark for the contrast with the sky. In the brush set there are a few grass brushes. We can start with faraway grass. Set the size to around 10%. Here the opacity is set to maximum, but if we apply lower pressure on the pencil, we will get a lighter tone. So let's do it here on the horizon. And also go up. Like this. As you see, if we apply just a little bit more pressure, the color is already getting darker. So we can paint it all here in the corner. And continue going to the side. Here it will also go up. We can add some curves even. And then finish painting it here. Due to this color dynamics, we will get some depth. This light color will give us a feeling of faraway grass. Like this. Also, if it's not quite matching with this arc in the middle, you can also use push or warp to adjust it. I think I will stretch it a little bit up here. Adjust it in the center. And also stretch it just a little bit up. Now it is better. I'll deselect it and create one more layer, where we will paint the foreground grass. Like this. Let's select one of these two brushes. The first one will be Grass Blade Straight. with the size set to 25%. Let's make a few horizontal strokes on the right first. And it'll go up on the side. Like this. Now we can also draw on the left. Make it higher here, and then it'll go down. After we got the shape, we need to adjust it. But first outline one of the sides. We can switch to freehand and remove color fill in the selection menu. Let me outline the right side like this. Tap on it to close the selection, and then I will click on the arrow to activate transformation menu. It is set to warp already, so we need to stretch it up like this, on the side, and also turn it into a curve by pushing it. This way. We can create this angle for the grass. And I think it can go even upper. This way. Okay. I think it looks fine now. Let's also do it on the left. As you see, after the transformation it got a little blurry, which is fine here. Let's just work on this side. I'm outlining it, and then go into transformation. Let's also push it to the left side. And then stretch it a little bit up. Let's finish adding this angle. And I think it can go till the end of the pink part of the sky. Not too high. This way. Okay. I think it's enough. We can deselect this one and apply one more brush for more detailed grass. This time it will be grass blades curvy. I think we can add another layer for it, but later we will merge them. It will be just easier to transform it if needed, because we already worked on this one. Here the size is set to 18%, and we need to make a few strokes between these grass blades. We will get these tiny ones, and then we can do the same on the left. Let me move it like this. You can try to draw from the right or from the left, and it may look different. Okay, I think enough texture here. Now we can add a few individual grass blades. So we can merge these two layers and create one more above. Here let's switch to outlines brush, so we can draw them by hand. Again, I'm going to work on the right side first and draw a simple flower shape somewhere here. It will pop up from the grass. It will have a stem like this, and then a tiny flower shape. Let's add another one next to it. They can look different. Just some other flower. Here we can draw a few more. Just two stems, maybe with a leaf, and a tiny flower on the tip. This way. Here on the right I'd like to draw two more, but make them curvy. So it'll go up first and then turn to the side. Let me draw the other stem somewhere here. And then I will draw a flower. Make something not standard and looking different from the previous ones. Here we can draw another shape. Maybe add another stem that will be intersecting. And look this way. I will just make it a little bit thicker here. And then also use warp to change the curves. Like this. This can go a little more straight, I think. Okay. Enough adjustments here. Let's work on the left. Here I will just draw a simple grass blade. somewhere here, and press more, somewhere in the middle. We can make a few strokes and then draw one flower right next to this grass blade. Let's also make it a little bit wider and then draw on the tip. Let's make something different here too. I think this one looks nice. Okay, let's make another curvy one, starting somewhere here from the side of the canvas, and then it'll go as a curve. I will outline it a little bit, make a flower on the tip, maybe it's too thick. Okay, here I will draw a tiny flower and then a couple leaves on the sides, something like this. Let it go to this side, and now that's fine. After we cut the shapes, we can do this. Go to Adjustments, and from this menu, select Perspective Blur. I'm not changing any settings here, we just need to start moving the pencil a little bit to the right. We can stop when we like it. I think around 6 or 7% is the right amount. It will look like our camera is not focused on this grass. We will focus on another object, but later. Okay, let's keep it. I'll deselect it. And after that, we can merge all the layers for the grass. So we can start working on the sky. First, let's duplicate layer number 1 and change the blending mode of the layer on top. We need to set it to multiply to create this night moody atmosphere. But if it got too dark, all we need to do is lower the opacity. Let's set it to 36%. This is the subtle difference that we will get. After that, we need to create one more layer to start drawing night clouds. And I'd like to start with color number 2. We already used it here at the bottom, but after all our manipulations, this color changed. And now if we use it, it will look different. We just need to select the cloud brush that we will use first. It will be Cloud Brush Scattered. This one. And the size of this brush is set to around 20%. Let's first make a stroke on the right side, very close to the horizon, and go up. We can make a few strokes and then do the same on the left. Let's also lighten it right here at the bottom of the canvas. And after we made these strokes, we can also use warp to adjust this angle and this too. I will drag it down a little bit so it stays only on pink and yellow part. Doesn't go up too much. Okay. Now let's grab a razor and set it to the same brush. I just want to remove some texture, and the size here is set to 9%. Let me remove it from the upper side to blend it with the sky more. It got way too light here. Okay, let's also do it on this side. Just make a few erasing strokes, but we can keep it a little light, somewhere here. Okay, after we did this, we need to create one more layer under this one. Then set it to multiply mode, change the brush into cloud brush narrow and also switch to color number 3. It looks very light, but due to multiply mode, it will blend with the entire sky and look darker on it. Let's try to make a stroke and see how it looks, somewhere here in the middle. Maybe it may look a little bit dirty and too dark. So let's first adjust the opacity of the layer and set it to 68%. Now it is better. Let me just clear the layer and start again. The size of the brush can be set to 16%. Let's make a few strokes on this side. Just going inwards to the middle of the canvas. Here we can also darken the sky, go down, and then even upper here in the center. We can darken the pink part a little more, and after that, smudge it. Here it is still set to realistic gouache paint. We just need to lower the size and start pushing the sides inwards to create the cloud shape. Let it look like this. Let's also smudge it here and match it with our arc, like this. We can push it to different sides here. Just to create this nice moody texture of the night. Okay, with a bigger size I will blend it more with the sky, like this. And then we can continue working with the brush. Let me switch back to it. And I will draw on the right side first. Just make a few strokes. The size here can be around 20%. And I will draw like this. Make it very big. It can also go this way. But then I will select eraser and set it to the same brush, cloud brush narrow. We need to set it to full opacity and keep it at around 9% size. Just erase some parts of this cloud to make it look different. I will also erase it here. Maybe let's increase the size now to erase bigger parts. Please keep in mind that we didn't use warp tool here yet. We can do it later. For now we are just creating the shapes. Like this. Okay. Here. Now let's do it on the left side and also make strokes first with the brush. It can go up here and then more on the side. Let's just go more down. Okay. Then we need to switch back to eraser and start adjusting the shape. Let me lower the size to 16%. And I'll make a few strokes. Like this. We can switch between the brush and eraser a few times to get the best shape for the clouds. Okay. Let me make this one a little bit bigger again. And then I will erase it somewhere here. Let me fix it on the side of the canvas. It must be eraser, not smudge tool. Okay. Now we can switch to the smudge tool. and just blend the tips like this. We can make some circular strokes and stretch them a little. The opacity here is at 49%. Okay, just a few more here maybe. And now I'd like to go to Warp Tool and adjust the shape even more. I will try to push it this way, to the sides and a little bit up. So in the end we will get something like this. We just came to the point where we got a finished background. If you'd like to use it to create more artworks in the future, you can either save it as a Procreate file from the Share menu, or go to Procreate homepage and duplicate the project. Now let's create a layer above all layers and set it to Add mode, so we can add some glow. In the color palette we need to select color number 7 and Tiny Speckles brush from the set. The size here can be set around 9 or 10%. And I will be making strokes all over the canvas. Go down. And then paint more here at the bottom. I think I will make the size slightly bigger, like 11 or 12%. Let me do it this way, maybe a little bit more. And as you see, these particles are already blurry, but we can add some more blur. So let's select Gaussian blur from adjustments and add it at 2%. Now it looks like this. Also, I'd like to make the ones that are on top a little bit less shiny. And to do that we need to alpha lock the layer. Select color number 8 and using soft brush from airbrushing, just paint on this. They will vanish. Okay. Maybe we can also grab a razor, set it to soft brush and make the ones here a little less visible. Okay, now I think it is fine. Let's go ahead and create one more layer above this one, so we can start painting the houses. To paint the houses, let's use realistic gouache paintbrush. But we need to set it to a small amount, because this house will be tiny. Let's try to set it to 2% maybe. 2 or 3 is fine. But we also need to select the color. It will be number 10. Let's start drawing the frontal part. Just as a rectangle. Paint it like this. Okay. Let's paint it a little more. Then we can add a triangular part for the roof. Here. I'm keeping it simple. Okay. Now it'll go a little bit to the right here. So let's paint this part too. I think I'll make the size a little bit bigger to paint bigger areas at once. Like this. Now we can add another part behind it. It'll have a triangular roof too. Let's just paint it for now, and we will add the details for the roof later. Now we are just creating the base. Okay, then it'll go down. and to the side. We can try to add some perspective maybe here. But then we can fix it later. Let's just paint it this way. Okay. Now let's paint the roof. It will have color number 13. I think we can first paint the big one. I'll just lower the size first to 2%. Draw it here on the side. We can make it slightly curvy, like this. Then draw the other side. Let's draw another line that will go down with an angle. And then we just need to connect it here to the wall. It can go a little bit lower. Then I'll make the size bigger and just paint it. I'm not using color fill here to make it look more like painted. Okay. Now let's use the same color. Lower the brush size again and add the roof for the small part. Also draw on the left side first. Then it can go this way. There will be another line with an angle. And after that it will go down like this. Maybe we can also try to change the angle here. And draw horizontally. Let's now paint the roof. I'm working on one layer, so even when we shade it, it will be easy. We will use this painting brush for the entire house. I think the shape looks very nice. We can move it later if needed and also adjust it. I think I will just change the angle of this part a little bit more. Adjust it here to add more perspective. Alright, now let's start shading. And I'd like to work on the small part first. We can select color number 18, which is slightly darker than the base color. Adjust the brush size and start adding shadows under the roof, like this. If we apply more pressure on the pencil, the color will be dark. But if we make the size just a little bit bigger and paint with low pressure, we will just get texture, but the color won't be too dark. I think I'll darken it a little bit more and then add a line horizontally, like this. So now we are creating shadows. We can paint under this part, then do it here too. There will be more shadows. I think I'll make it smaller here. And draw this shadow. Okay, it will also go under this part. Now we can make it bigger and draw vertically here to determine the walls. Okay, we can make it a little bit textured like this, and then I will just make a few more strokes to make this part darker. Here. Now let's draw a line this way. And also for this one. Alright. Let's draw another vertical line where it ends. I'll make this one darker. Now let's start adding some details. For example, we can add wooden texture to it. So with the very small brush size, let's draw horizontal lines on this wall. Like this. Now we need to select a lighter color. That will be number 11. We can draw above or under these lines. This way. Let's do the same on this wall. So I will tap and hold here to go to the dark color. The size can be still at 2%. And I will draw horizontally. Let's add a few more lines. Like this. Then I will tap and hold again. And get lighter color. Just draw a few more lines close to this. So we will get a very simple wooden texture here. Especially if we look at it from distance. Okay. I think I will do this. Just switch to freeform. And push it a little bit down. Maybe stretch it slightly. Okay. I'll move it a little and continue painting. Okay. Let's now add some more details, like windows. To draw the base, we need to select a very dark color, like number 12. It will have a few windows. We can draw one here. In this gap. Just make a square or rectangle. And then we can draw two more on this part. I think it can go a little upper. So we have some space at the bottom to add another detail. Let's just paint these two. Make them similar size. Okay, now let's paint inside the windows with color number 11. We can add these window frames, first around it, also this one, and then inside. It can look like this. Two more lines horizontally. Then we can outline this window on the side and just draw a cross inside it, like this. Okay, let's continue and darken this part at the bottom. So I will select color number 18. Let's make the size bigger and just paint this area, but not all of it. Approximately like this. We can even go outside. We didn't alpha lock the layer, just painting. Okay, maybe it's sort of terrace or balcony. Okay, after that we can select color number 11 again. Draw vertically, just a few lines, like this, maybe the last one here, and then horizontally. Let's draw a few more, like this. Okay. Now we can add another darker color. It will be number 9. Just under it. In between. Here. A little more. And then vertical. Just a few lines. Like this. I think it will be enough. Let's continue adding shadows and switch to color 14. I will paint around this window. Maybe also this one. Alright, now let's go darker with the shadows. So I will grab color 9 again. Darken it under the roof. Then also this line. And here, but it will be thinner. Now let's also add wooden texture on this part. So we can just add vertical lines with very low pressure. Like this. Here. I think I will draw horizontally like this. Just checking. Alright. Now let's add a lighter color. It will be 11. But the size can be bigger, and we will just paint between the lines with low pressure. Like this. I'm not smudging anything here. It's okay. Now we can paint a small window. Just press more on the pencil. And maybe another tiny one on this roof. Okay. Let's see what else we can do. Maybe we can add some wood under the window. So let's use this color first. Make a few horizontal strokes under it. Then we need to select dark color. Let it be number 18. And draw more lines. Like this. Let me now grab color number 9. And darken some more parts. Like here. I think we can stop at this moment and finish the roof. Here we will also apply a few colors. For example, we can highlight this part on the left with color number 15. Just paint like this. A little bit. Then also here. And go a little bit to the side. Here we need to darken it. So let's grab color 16. And start painting from the corner. Like this. Let's try to be careful. And don't go outside the shape. With the smaller size, I will draw a line here on top to separate it from the roof of the other building behind. Actually, it is the same building, but like they are connected together. Okay, now let's make the size slightly bigger and just texturize it like this. We need to make this corner a little bit darker. So we just need to paint more with the smaller size, but bigger pressure. Okay, I think we can keep it. Maybe just set the size to a small amount and draw a line. Something like this. Make the corner and it is fine. Let's leave it and highlight the part here. I will go lighter with color 17. Make a stroke on top like this. And at the bottom, we need to make it darker. So let's try to use color number 19. Like this. Okay. We can also continue drawing to the right side. Like this. Then also highlight it on top. So I'm switching back to 17 and drawing it with a thin line. Okay. Let's now add a few more lines using different colors. For example, we can switch between color 21 and make some strokes. I'll just lower the opacity a little and paint like this to make it look old. Let's also darken it a little bit in this corner, since it is far from the light. Now we can pick color 16, draw a little bit more between the lines. Also we can add some lighter tone, like 15, but with very low pressure. We need to fix it here at the bottom, so I will just lower the size, set it to full opacity, and draw a line at the bottom. We can also highlight it a little bit in this corner. Let me have a look at it. Then I will switch to dark color number 18 and add thickness like this. Go to the right side. Maybe we can also try to outline it a little bit. And also here in the corner. Okay, I think I can just darken this wall a little bit more. I'll grab color number 6 and just paint on top of it slightly. We can do it horizontally or vertically, so the texture still will be seen, but these two walls will look darker. Okay, I think now it is totally ready. We can adjust the shape a little more. So let me select warp, and I will try to make it a little bit more curvy by pushing it to different sides. Like this. So the house will look old. Let me stretch it here. And also after this transformation, it will get a little bit blurry, which is also good. Okay. I think I'll push it a little bit this way. And now I like it. I will deselect this house. And instead of drawing more houses, let's do this. First duplicate the layer. Then click on the arrow. Move it to the side. Then we need to flip it horizontal. And scale. If you switch to freeform, or maybe even distort, we can change it more, so it'll look slightly different. Let's put it somewhere here for now. Maybe a little closer. Okay. Now we need to drag it down in the layers and put it under the grass. I think I will push it a little bit more down, so it is hiding behind the horizon. And using the eraser, I will remove it from the grass. Like this. Okay. Now let's add perspective blur. can set it to around 8 or 9%, like this. Now let's go back to layer number 7 and duplicate only one part of the house. So we can outline it in freehand selection like this. I think from here. So we are saving plenty of time. Let's close the selection and click copy and paste. Now we can also drag it down in the layers, flip horizontal and move it to this side. Let's also use distortion, stretch it up like this, then make it narrow and scale. Let's put it somewhere here behind the grass, so we can see only a small part of it. Let's also apply perspective blur on this house at around 7%. And then I'll erase it at the bottom, like this. Okay, now we just need to fix it here at the bottom. So let's put this layer under the grass too. And erase it a little bit. Like this. Now I think it is better. Okay, in the next step, we will paint a huge moon here, in the middle of the canvas. Let's go ahead and create a layer above all layers. Then select white color by double tapping here on the disk. Now let's grab the stamp with the moon. Set the size to 23% and just tap here on the sky. I painted this moon using realistic gouache paintbrush and just smudged some areas. We will move it later. Now let's do this. We need to create a layer under this one. Then in the color palette, select color 16. Let's go to airbrushing and select medium hard airbrush. Set it to full size and opacity and just paint like this. For now we can make strokes that will go outside. Now let's go to the layer with the moon, and to remove this color outside, we can get it selected and then invert this selection, like this. Now let's go back to layer 11 and from this menu, pick clear. It will remove the inner areas too. And to make it opaque again, I will duplicate this layer a few times. Like this. Let's merge it. And now it is done. Let's clip the layer on top to the base. I'll make this one a little bit smaller so we don't have dark borders. Maybe a little more. Okay. And after that, we need to change the layer's blending mode, the one that is on top. Let's set it to lighten. Now we can merge these two layers and set the entire layer to pin light. Maybe there is a lot of actions, but the result will be great. Believe me. Now let's lower the opacity to 85% and create another layer on top of it that we also need to clip. Let's set it to overlay mode and we can apply a few colors. Starting with color 28. Let's use soft brush here and start making strokes on the left side of the moon. The size can be at around 19% here. Now it looks amazing and it is also blended with the sky, We can paint approximately half of it. And then select color number 30. Let's lower the size a little and make a few more strokes to add darker blue color on some areas. Here on the right, we can paint it into color number 29, this light pink. Let's increase the size a little bit and start painting it here. Try to blend all these colors together. We can try to make it even lighter, even switch between the colors and blend them more. For example, here in the middle. I think it looks quite cool. We just need to select these two layers and then move it upper, like this. Let's also try to center it horizontally. Okay, the moon is done. In the end, we just need to add some telephone wires. This way we will fill the space here, between the moon and the house, and make it look more atmospheric. Before that, I also want to blend the house with the sky, just a little bit. Let's find this layer, then create another one above it, and clip. Let's select color number 2, and set the layers mode to overlay. We can paint a little bit here on the roof and on the side of the house. Okay, I think it got a little bit too yellow and maybe too bright. We need to adjust the colors. Let's set hue to 38%. Saturation increase to 84. And brightness will go down to 29%. Now we can also adjust the opacity. I think I will set it to around 54%. And you can do it according to your result. Now it will get this pinkish tone from the sky. I'll just move it a little bit. Like this. Okay, now let's start drawing the wires. For that we need to create a layer under all houses and pick color number 9. Now from sketching set from Procreate, we need to select the pencil brush. It will be Narender pencil with the size set to around 20%. Let's draw the first telephone pole somewhere here. The size can be at around 33%. And if you paint it manually, it will get this wooden texture. I think I will increase the size even more. Then paint it like this. We can add another detail, then a smaller one. Now we need to draw horizontally. This pencil is tilt responsive, so we need to be careful with it. Now let's add 2 shorter lines, another one in the middle. Then we can draw horizontally on this one, add some more here. I think it looks something like this. Let's just draw a few more on the sides, adjusting the shape. And now I think it looks quite good. I'll just move it a little bit. Maybe place it somewhere here. Okay. Now on the same layer, we can draw another one, but make it a little bit smaller, and it can also have slightly different shape. Let's place it between these two houses. So I will also draw two straight lines, then paint between them. Then I'll just add a horizontal one, some smaller shapes, something like this. Now let's draw one more. Maybe we can try to copy this one. I'll outline it, click copy paste, then drag it here, scale it, and place it closer to this house. Like this. Let me adjust the location, and then I will draw another one behind this house. Let's also try to keep it simple. I think it's too high. We just need to keep the perspective, so they will get smaller and smaller, and in the end disappear on the horizon. Can be something like this. I think I'll draw something here. Okay, now let's connect them with wires. And for that we can adjust the brush size. I'd like to keep them rather thin. So let's try 30% size. And first draw a line that will go to the side of the canvas. Then it will go from here. Actually, to get smooth lines, we can go to the pencil. I'll duplicate it so we don't spoil this one. And in stabilization, I will increase the amount of streamline, add a little pressure, maybe increase amount of stabilization, just a little bit. These figures can be at your taste. I'll just click done and try to draw another one. This time it will go more smooth. Let me draw one more that will go from here. Okay, now we need to connect it with the next one. It will go from the center to here. And the last one. Just try not to tilt your hand. Okay, let's go further. Connect this. Okay. Then here. And I will just draw a little more, like it is going more to the side. Okay, now let's do this. We need to merge these layers and then alpha lock. So we can grab color number 11 and select soft brush. Let's just paint on these to make them a little bit lighter. Okay, also we can add some perspective blur to the ones that are located behind this house. So let's remove alpha lock, go to adjustments and select perspective blur. But here I will switch to pencil, so it won't be applied to the entire layer. This one on the front will be still sharp. Now we need to select a brush. It can be soft brush. We can start making strokes here. Okay, and then fix the amount. Just move it to the left, so they're not too blurry. I think I'll keep it at around 14 or even 13%. Make another stroke. here. And now it is fine. We can deselect. Since this grass is transparent, even though it is located above this layer, the end of this wooden part will be still seen. So let's select eraser and remove it carefully. Like this. These are behind the house, so it is fine. Okay, now after this final step, our night landscape drawing is complete. If you enjoyed following this tutorial, I will appreciate it if you give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel for more Procreate related content. If you share your finished drawing on Instagram, please don't forget to tag me at TatyWorks so I can see it. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.